Are you ready? What is up, Patriots? It's over. We got to team up and we got to get this stuff together. Whether it's, you know, drag queens with 5-year olds walking down the aisle, gun control, mental health. It's absolutely super important that we take care of one another right now because we got people to save. That's for sure. We got people to save. Um, I just want to get rid of that so we can get into this. Um, there's a there's a new way to make sure you get new users, whether it's your locals platform or Rumble. You make a video, a documentary, and then you tease it, and then you charge for it because you can only charge for it if you sign up, and it is provocative. And I'm not against it, but I don't know if I just want to bite into that pie quite yet. But what I did watch, and I am referring to What is a Woman, Matt Walsh, and it's from what I've seen of it, it's brilliant. And I'll turn you on to a little bit of it, but it's absolutely spot on. And I'm going to give you an example of the way some of these people react. They're super brains. They're major brains. Really, really good people. Um, Probably at home. Uh, Probably even at work. But once you put them into the realm of truth, they break down. And I want to show you this. Check this out. This is Matt Walsh, and just watch this. Be prepared.
But before we get to that point, where things really start to sort of fall apart, let's get to know Michelle a little bit. Watch.
My name is Michelle Forcier, and I have a medical degree from University of Connecticut, residency, University of Utah Pediatrics, and I've worked for a number of different Planned Parenthoods for 20 years.
She said Planned Parenthoods. So there's the first red flag. And she's overeducated, in my opinion. And she's got blue hair. Nothing against blue hair, but all this right now is a telltale sign of what's to come.
I do advanced contraception and abortion, as well as gender hormones, and sort of looking at the whole sort of schema of gender, sex, and reproductive justice.
So you've done a lot of work in this field. Could you just start by telling us?
Sure.
At what age can a child first begin to transition into another gender?
This is scary. Super scary.
Or identify themselves as a gender different from how they were born?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's research and data that show that babies and infants understand differences in gender. Some children figure out their gender really early, and the reason why we say, oh, that's interesting or important is because they're figuring out their gender identity is not necessarily congruent with their sex assigned at birth.
Now, hold on. First of all, children also believe in the Easter Bunny. Or a little boy, when I was little, I kind of wanted to be like the firefighter or, maybe a football player. But that changes over time, right?
When the doctor sees the penis and says, this is a male, has the sex of male, that's an arbitrary distinction.
Telling that family, based on that little penis, that your child is absolutely 100% male identified, no matter what else occurs in their life, that's not correct.
This woman is brainwashed. And she's brainwashing children.
So what is gender affirmation care? You're a big proponent of. If we walk through, a child is sitting down with you, is questioning their gender. What's the gender affirmation process?
Affirmation means that as a pediatrician, as someone who says my job is to provide the best medical care for you, is I need to listen really carefully. And how I put it in words for kids so that they can understand it is, tell me your story. Where have you been in terms of your gender and your gender identity? Where are you right now?
What little kid is going to just start? It has to come from the parent. The parent has to be brainwashed by this woman who was brainwashed by the left ideologies that they've been promoting for the last 10, 15 years. So this woman is dangerous.
And more excitingly, where would you like to be in the future?
Have you ever met a 4-year-old
Here we go.
who believes in Santa Claus?
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So this is someone who believes that a fat man is traveling through the sky on a flying reindeer at lightning speed, coming down his chimney with presents.
Yeah.
Would you say that this is someone who maybe has a tenuous grasp on reality?
They have an appropriate 4-year-old handle on the
Sure,
reality
agreed.
that's very real for them.
Agreed. But Santa Claus is real for them, but
Yeah.
Santa Claus is not actually real.
Yeah, well, but Santa Claus does deliver their Christmas presents.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, but he's not real, though.
To that child, they are.
When I see a child who, believes in Santa Claus, and then let's say this is a boy and he says, I'm a girl.
Mm-hmm.
This is someone who can't distinguish between fantasy and reality.
Brilliant.
How could you
She don't know what to do.
as a reality?
I would say that as a pediatrician and as a parent, I would say how wonderful my 4-year-old and their imagination is.
One of the hardest things as we did this film.
Okay, so here we go, right? If that doesn't scare you, and I'm going to put the link down at the bottom. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it to me. Share me. I'm going to tell you right now, this is super duper dangerous. I cannot tell you how these people have infiltrated our school system. And I thought it was bad in college, right? And now I have 2 children, one that went through high school and one that's starting high school in 9th grade right now. And my wife also is the food director. And to know that it is not the high school system that I went to. The police on board can't do anything to correct the children or stop them or basically police them. Not in a harmful way, but if eyes are open and you see something you need to investigate, but they're not allowed anymore. The teachers aren't allowed anymore to do any kind of constructive behavioral guidance, let alone scolding. And then, of course, this is all the high schools that I'm finding out. I thought it was college. Now it's high schools. And now you're seeing, just with this woman, that from a baby to 6 years old, they're already trying to infiltrate their minds and brainwash them. Now, I do have other stuff to look at. So I'm going to drop a link in there. And if you want to go to Locals and sign up with Daily Mail, I believe that's it. You can see the full experience of this documentary. It's super duper cool. Now, I also have the drag queen syndrome. It's crazy. It's crazy. And Steven Crowder, I'm going to drop that link in for you. Check him out.
And here you even have kids, and by the way, this is actually really sad, performing with the drag queens.
I mean, oh my, if you know, and you think you guys can do it like we do it, I want you to come up here real quick. If you think you
Look
can
at this
do it,
woman.
you think you can walk around
Look at this.
with the girl who wants to be a diva for the day. You ready to do this? On the count of 3, here we
This
go.
is crazy.
1,
By the way, that kid clearly...
let's go.
He looks happy. Clearly uncomfortable being there.
This is not good.
My mother beats me. That was I'm not saying that they're preying upon... I'm not saying that they're preying upon easily impressionable children, but that kid was... he looked like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boy.
Yeah, he's hunched over.
This is brutal.
Yeah.
Why aren't you... I thought I'd be seeing a kitty. Turns out a good man had a pee-pee.
He looked like Sling Blade. When
Now, they do a little bit of more
I know,
joking
it's like,
about it,
you know,
but they have
like,
to
yeah,
because
this is healthy.
Steven Crowder goes all the way. He's up there with the Mark Dice, and he's doing it, and he's canceled here, canceled there, back on. He really works it hard, works it super hard. Now, I just wanted to play that for you, and the link's down there. You can watch the whole dibbies there. But I had to play that for you because if you're not realizing that this is beyond now schooling. It's entertainment. It's TV shows. It's Netflix. Netflix has stuff on there that if you're 5, 6, 8 year old, 10-year old starts whooshing around looking for stuff to watch and you're out gardening, well, then you're dropping the ball because there's stuff on Netflix. And I don't care if they don't like what I'm going to say, but you go check out Netflix and deep dive into it, and you'll see stuff in there that is not appropriate for kids. And I know you can put a lock on it, but if you don't, and I'm speaking right to the dads, the parents, the mom, please double check your Netflix, your Paramount Plus, your Disney, because there's stuff on there that is programming. TikTok programs. TikTok is, I think it's brilliant for what it can be. Perfect. It's like a gun. Guns don't kill people. People with guns do. That are hurting, that are mentally hurting, that maybe think it's all over with, and that should be studied. And yes, maybe going from 18 to 20, 21, 23 to buy an AR, fine. Let's meet them a little bit. But you're never going to take the ability for a patriot, for somebody that was born on this turf, to not protect themselves. That's the bottom line. If I'm not allowed in my house to protect myself, if I'm not allowed to study and get real good with a gun and the gun safety and the rules of having a gun and then get my carry permit, then the country's over. All right? Country is over. And we have to stand up to this. We can't let these kids do, see, act the way they are. I don't care if you're 19, 20, 21 and want to, do what you got to do to make yourself feel better. Hopefully, by the time you can go to war, by the time you can vote, and possibly 21, by the time you can drink, you're going to finally know who you are inside. But you can't have outside sources and parents making sure they mold these children. These children are not allowed to be molded, not gender and not sexually. If they're good at baseball, do you want to say, hey, do you like baseball and you want to play? Then yes, you mold them into a good baseball player. You want to sing, act, dance? You want to be in theater? Fine. Do it. We as parents will help you. The school systems should be like shut down on this stuff and teach math, history, geology, biology, whatever. Sociology, they don't even teach that anymore. Now, Steven Crowder, I love him. So you're going to see that. Matt Walsh, love him. You're going to see a link in the bottom. And I do believe I have one more. I at least got Mark Levin. Now, if you like Mark Levin, like I do, this is the red, white, and blue speaker. For sure. He's the red, white, and blue speaker. So let's check him out and listen. Just check him out and listen to this.
For enforcing these laws who don't do it. One statistic we never see: how frequently has the Biden administration brought cases against violators of federal gun laws? Where's that statistic? Where's that chart? We don't see it. Why not? Because the number must not be that great. And what about the statistics of the number of people who've actually used firearms legally, properly, to defend themselves and defend their fellow Americans,
Good
whether
point.
at home or in public places? Where are those statistics? We don't see them. We learned at Parkland that you have to harden the facility. The armed guard there hid behind a post for 40 minutes.
Do you get it? Do you get it? If you have a responsible adult on the premises, I don't know what the percentage is, but I would have to say it goes up high to stop someone. But then you can't put someone in like Mark Levin's talking about right now that hides. What's the use? How much is that person making a year to do that job and then to see that children were slaughtered?
Well, kids were being slaughtered inside. So people need to be trained properly. Joe Biden says, we haven't done a thing. He's a liar, and he's always a liar. They've done a thing in many states. In the state of Florida, they've completely changed their procedures. They've changed their budgeting process. They are prioritizing school safety, not by taking guns,
from honest citizens and law-abiding Americans as if that's going to stop people from slaughtering people? No. They've hardened their schools. They've passed a law that you have to have an armed, trained police officer in every school for every 500 students on the location. They've changed their rules with respect to doors, with respect to the entire compound of a school. Joe Biden didn't say a word.
Now you see, that's what I'm talking about. This man, Mark Levin, I'm going to drop him in there for you. I watch him religiously because he speaks complete constitutional law and what the Constitution can do for us. Like Scott Adams even says, the Constitution is floating, and it's up to the Supreme Court to make sure everything's okay and protected. So we have to be careful and see how they start reacting to this. So Mark Levin, I just had to let you hear that because promoting what DeSantis did in Florida is so important. You might see a blurb of it on our own Fox, the main Fox News. You don't see any of it on CNN. Fox is the only one that puts this man on for half hour, 45 minutes, whatever, and he's completely spot on. Now, I'm going to end it there. You know how much I love you guys, and I have to do my shout out. It's all good that way. Ultra Hunter. Ultra Hunter's he's been with me for a long time now. He's in Ardennes. But there's my man right there. A big shout out to Archery Hunter. I love you to death. If you can, make sure you follow, subscribe to him. What a patriot. And we're super duper working hard together inside our dens, the Lion's Den, Tiger's Den, and all that. I just wanted to give a shout out. There he is. I'm going to put it in the links down there. Arch, I love you. Keep the fight going. I promise you I am doing my best to make sure that we are fighting together. That's hashtag Lions Den, hashtag voter ID wins. We got the hashtag Tigers Den, hashtag Cheetahs. And we're fighting all kinds of stuff. And always a big shout out to Leah and Dave for helping me. I will get you on a shout out. Those two are definitely supporting our agenda to make sure we have term limits, voter ID, no more wokeness, the whole gamut. No drop mails, mailboxes where you can just put whatever you want in there. It doesn't even go through the U.S. Postal Service, so chain of command is broken there. The teachers' unions, we're really fighting hard. So again, shout out to Archery, Dave and Leah, and of course, Code of Vets, Gretchen at Code of Vets. She always lifts up patriots. And like I always say, kiss, love, hug a patriot, because patriots lift up patriots. So anywho, I'm going to let you go. Please follow me at BFES56. It's on the Twitter. And through Twitter, you will find out just how much we are doing if you follow me. So take good care of yourselves, and we will see you shortly.